If you only have $100 and you want some quality hooping shoes, I think you should check these babies out. What is good, YouTube? It is your boy Stashed Hooper, and today we are reviewing the Nike GT Cut Academies. These shoes currently retail for only $95, which is an absolute deal considering the current state of the economy. But let me stop yapping and let's get straight into the review. As we always do, let's start off with that traction. Firstly, the GT Cut Academy features a unique herringbone-like traction pattern that almost looks like a mountain range. Love that setup. Kind of looks cool. Additionally, the material that makes up the outsole appears to be some sort of solid, traditional hard rubber that Nike uses in pretty much any shoe. It feels a little bit harder than the material used in the GT Cut 3s, which I prefer. I think for outdoor use, these wouldn't be too bad because the material is pretty hard, but at the same time, the grooves aren't so deep, so maybe it's like decent for outdoor use. But enough about the technical stuff. Let me show you a traction test real quick, and then let's get into the performance of the traction. Cue the traction test. In regards to the traction performance, these were absolutely phenomenal. I play on a really dusty court and these shoes were catching like crazy. Super grippy. Just like any basketball shoe, you do have to give it a quick wipe every once in a while on a dusty court, but again, it's like every other hoop shoe. But one thing I will say is because it is a harder and solid outsole, it picks up dust not as quickly as some other hoop shoes would, such as the GT Cut 3s. So it's a little bit of an upgrade in my opinion. But let me keep it brief. Overall, amazing traction. I'll give these a solid 8.5 out of 10. In my opinion, the highlight of the GT Cut Academies. I like that. Now let's talk about the cushion. The GT Cut Academies feature an air zoom unit in the forefoot alongside two types of foam throughout the midsole. What types of foam, you may ask? I have no clue. Unfortunately, I could not find that information online, so apologies, guys. But enough about the tech. We don't need to know all that stuff. Let's talk about the performance. At only $95, I didn't have the highest expectations about these because, again, if we're talking about hoop shoes, $95 isn't much. But to my surprise, for 95 bucks, it's not too bad. While there was not much bounce to the cushion, kind of similar to the GT Cut 3s, there was still a good amount of impact protection. I felt really low to the ground. My feet felt good in the shoe. So for someone such as myself who's not super athletic or heavy, I think these felt pretty decent. But for someone who maybe is more athletic or a heavier big build, maybe these wouldn't feel the best for you. But again, for me, for the average human being, I think these would feel pretty decent. So to conclude, I'm going to keep it brief, man. I don't want to waste your time. 7 out of 10. Probably not the best part about the shoe, but still really good for a $95 shoe. Now let's talk about the support. For support, the GT Cut Academies feature a very similar setup to the GT Cut 3s, just obviously in budget version. Firstly, they feature this rubber fin in the forefoot alongside what appears to be some fly wire to add some support in the forefoot. When we move a little further back, there's also a heel counter that is always essential in any shoe to add some support. On top of this, the Academies feature a kind of heavier mesh upper that adds an extra layer of support to the shoe. And for the fit, because I include that in this section, I would say these are true to size. If anything, just slightly snug. But I would say, again, anyone out there, true to size. Unless you like it a little big, then maybe go a half size up. But overall, the support / fit in this shoe is really good. I would give these a solid 8 out of 10 in regards to support / fit. Me like it. Now let's talk materials. The GT Cut Academies, the materials are pretty solid for a $95 shoe. But in regards to any hoop shoe, they're not really anything special. The upper is made up of this, feels like a heavy mesh / heavy textile upper, alongside some leather accents in both the heel and the lace setup. On top of this, they got some of that fly wire, some of that TPU, that rubber support right there. high quality stuff that you want in a basketball shoe. And like we discussed earlier, the hard rubber outsole, which I am personally a big fan of in regards to materials. So overall, we did discuss a lot of this stuff, so I'm going to keep it very, very brief because we already yapped about it. So I'll give these a solid 7 out of 10, which again, we're comparing this to all hoop shoes, not just budget hoop shoes. 7 out of 10 in regards to all hoop shoes. Now let's talk about the look slash swag grade. In this section, I talk about the silhouette, the colorway I have in hand, alongside any colorways that are currently available on the market. Off rip, I will say the GT Cut Academy's silhouette is kind of heat. While I do think the GT Cut 3s look better, in my opinion, I think these still look pretty fire. Literally a very similar silhouette to the GT Cut 3s, just again, slightly changed to accommodate the budget. The colorway I have in hand is the black and green colorway. They didn't have some fun name for it like some other shoes do. I like to personally call these the green beans. But super simple, super clean. At the time of filming this video, there's only 2 colorways currently out. There is the green beans that I have in hand, and then the red and white colorway that is similar to the GT Cut 3 colorway that's currently out. Let me know down below which colorway you like more, the green beans or the white and red. Me personally, I'll take my vegetables. Overall, I think these shoes look super, super clean. I could definitely see Nike releasing a lot more really unique and cool colorways. Give it some time. But for right now, I'll take the super simple stuff. Kind of fire. So let me stop yapping. I'm going to give these a solid 7.5 out of 10 in regards to looks. Let me know down below what you would rate the looks, my boy. And then for the weights, I am going to keep it simple. I don't bring out a scale or talk about super technical stuff. I'm not going to talk about grams, pounds. Who do you think I am? I am simply just going to tell you how it felt on foot. In my opinion, these felt really, really light on foot, feel really, really light in hand. I'd say slightly lighter than the average hoop shoe. Therefore, I will give these a solid 4 out of 5 in regards to the weight. So overall, the GT Cut Academies get a whopping rating of 7.63 in regards to performance. And hold up real quick. I know this may seem like a low rating in comparison to some of my other reviews, but you have to take into account that these are $95 shoes. For 95 bucks, I would easily say that these are one of the best performers at its price point. I mean, they feature some grippy traction, decent cushion for 95 bucks, and cute looks to combine for a great budget shoe. So what I'm trying to say is if you don't have enough money to be spending $200, $150, even $120 on a pair of basketball shoes, these are an absolutely phenomenal option. So bang, man, I would 100% recommend these, especially if you don't have much of a budget. Let me know down below. Are you going to get a pair of GT Cut Academies? Also, if you guys would like to see a comparison video of the GT Cut Academies compared to the GT Cut 3s, comment that down below. If I could get 5 comments saying GT Cut Academy versus GT Cut 3, this week, this is a promise, a pinky promise. This week, I will release a GT Cut Academy versus GT Cut 3 versus. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for watching this far, because not a lot of people do. If you could like, comment, subscribe, I would appreciate it immensely. Hope you guys have a good one. I'm gonna do my best to. Stash Man is out.